Hey, what up, YouTube? ZMC here. Gonna talk about summit voting and a little bit about who I believe will make it into summit and who I would personally want to make it into summit. So yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna be talking about this video. Um, so anyway, I got the summit voting pulled up right here. I'm recording this on October 11th, real early in the morning, and so we'll be able to come back to this video and see how correct I got everything, and it'll be out there. So if I get 100% right, I can be like, yeah, watch me, look how I do. Anyway, so um, where should I start here? I guess I'll start with who I believe are the six players who will make it into Summit, and that pretty much goes something like I think Crush it. Okay. I'm gonna go through all six players who I think I'm gonna make who I think will make it in, and then I'm going to talk about why I think each of them will get in, and then I'll talk about the six who I would want to get in if it were up to me, and then why I think they'd be the best six in terms of, I guess just in terms of what I'd like to see. But anyway, uh, so I'm gonna go through this in no particular order, okay? Um, First off, I want to say I think Crush is gonna make it in, okay? He's from New England. You know how they do. They be dropping bans for their players, okay? They be, they throw money at their guys. You know how that is. We had the whole situation with. I don't even need to go over it. I don't think. We had a situation with like Infinite Numbers, Mafia, all guys from New England who were making it in, and yeah. Now, previous guys in New England, I wasn't really a fan of getting in. Okay, like Mafia, Infinite Numbers. I just didn't really, I didn't really want him to get in. I'll be honest, but they did. Especially Mafia. Like, he was a pretty bad sport about it, in my opinion. Um, but yeah, that's in the past now, and Mafia kind of got bopped when he did go. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Uh, but Crush on the other hand, I'd really enjoy seeing someone like Crush on at Summit. The guy is really funny. If you haven't followed his Twitter, go do that because he tweets some really funny stuff, man. His tweets are hilarious, and he's an up and coming Fox player who I think should have a little bit more exposure. He has some pretty good results. I think the one most notable this year that he got, if I'm not mistaken, was ninth at Royal Flush, which is crazy good. He's an ice climber specialist. Okay, the guy is might be the best fox in the world against ice climbers. Might be, not sure, but he's like he might be the best, or he's like in the top three. I'd say he is extremely good against ice climbers. If you ever watch like his sets against like Kid Boogie or like his set at Royal Flush against Chudat, he keeps up with all of them, and he knows exactly what he needs to do to deal with that character. And I think it's something that if your Fox is having trouble with ice climbers, then he's definitely got to watch. He should be your inspiration because he is wonderful at that matchup. I think his combination of like a fun personality, I think the guy's pretty funny. And then I really like what he's got going. Fox, he's an up and coming player. That's kind of stuff you want to see at Summit, right? I think I'll make him a good nomination for Summit. I think he should. I think he should get in. I won't vote for him because I don't think he's gonna have a problem with enough votes. Um, I'll tell you guys who I'm voting for later, but using all five of these votes, right? But I think he'd be a good guy to make it in. So anyway, I'll move on now. Then we got Amsa. I think Amsa will make it in for sure. Amsa's just way too popular. He's way too good of a guy. Man, everybody just loves Amsa, dude. Like I don't see. I really do not see how he doesn't make it in. Like I see players like people were surprised that Ice got like shafted in terms of like he didn't get in that one time. But like for me, I was like, like I'm not like I wasn't super surprised when that happened. I was a little surprised, but like I was like, Amsa is a guy where I'd be extremely caught off guard if he did not make it in. I'm really having a hard time not seeing him not make. He's got all of Japan behind him. Okay. there's that, and he just has like a large fan base, like here in the states and whatnot. People love him. He's a great guy. He's really nice all around. He's a really good soul, And he plays. He's like the best Yoshi player in the world, so that's a plus for character diversity. So that helps. I think he will get in as well. And next, I believe. I know it's gonna seem like I'm going down 1 through 3, but hear me out. 1 through like 3 through 4 through 6 or whatever. But hear me out. I also think Chudat will make it in. I think Chudat has a pretty large fan following at this point. I think the guy has had a breakout year. Well, for the most part, he kind of started. His results have kind of been dropping off a little bit. He's kind of though you could make an argument for him being like a top 6 or 7 player at one point, but now I would very much argue he is not top 10. I do not believe he's top 10 anymore. He's kind of dropped off. Like he had a hot streak and then he kind of dropped off. And I think the situation with Leffen where he ended up losing the Leffen in the second set they played at that one tournament, Shine I believe, was kind of contributed to that drop because made it so that he placed seventh, right? I believe. And so yeah, he had a pretty good run ahead of him. Like he could have beaten Mewtwo King, and he could have had like one of his best results in a while. But he has had some pretty suspect losses as of late. So, but I don't think it really stops people from liking him or anything. And I will admit his Sopo is phenomenal. Like, I'm not a fan of the guy whatsoever, and I think Yayas is kind of lame. But I will admit the guy knows what he's doing, and his Sopo is phenomenal. I just wish I could watch a Sopo. I just wish Sopo was like a decent character. So like I could just watch a Sopo because like I'm not a fan of wobbling. I don't think it's interesting to watch, and I watch Melee, because it's like interesting to watch and it's fun. And like when wobbling happened, I don't believe it's fun to watch. Like I understand there's a dynamic that's created by an infinite like wobbling, but that's not really what I'm watching a game for. Okay, like anyway, that's a different topic. But yeah, the guy is very skilled. I think he can definitely make some upsets happen here. He's definitely kind of an X factor sometimes I believe. So it'll be interesting to see if he can make it through some of his recent demons like SFAT. And if he runs into Crush, see if he can overcome that. Because he lost to Crush last time they played like at Royal Flush. So yeah, I don't think I have to say much more about why I think Shootout's going to make it in. If you're going to have your ear to the ground when it comes to like how popular people are in the Melee community, Shootout is pretty up there. What's next? What's next? Pew Pew. I think Pew Pew will get in because if we scroll down, SFAT has already been invited, and they're gonna invite Pew Pew for teams. Like that's what they probably like should have done that, but like that isn't the way it played out. Uh, I think Pew Pew is gonna get in solely because of Pew Fat teams. Not solely. I think Kevin Toy is a pretty cool dude, but I think the Pew Fat dynamic will definitely help him a lot. Even though the California vote is very split. He does have all of NorCal's vote though because he is from NorCal and the other California guys are from SoCal. But anyway, I think QP will make it in because of that. What else we got? S2J. I think S2J is going to get in. I think S2J is going to get in. He is a he's the dude's been kind of on the rise lately. I would say he had a great winning into Mewtwo King. I think the guy is a little bit on the up and up, kinda, just a little bit. The win over Mewtwo King was great, and I kind of just feel like his play has gotten a little bit lot cleaner lately. Yeah, and SUJ's I think is a pretty popular figure, so I think he has a good shot at getting in. For the SoCal guys, it's got to be so hard, man, because the SoCal guys have split their vote between like Hugs, Mike Hayes, so as S2J, West Balls. Like if you're a SoCal guy, you really can't count on like, oh well, I've got my region behind me. Well, you have four guys from the same region trying to get into Summit, so it makes it really hard on them. But I think S2J will come out on top. He's another Falcon. People love seeing Falcon. I think in my case isn't really at a great advantage here because he's a Fox player and like we have a lot of Fox players, so like yeah. Um, And that's no knock on my case, but we have a lot of Fox players as well. Anyway, after so that's so we covered Crush. I'm looking at a list that I wrote earlier. We covered Crush, we covered Amsa, we covered Hacks, we covered Shootout, we covered PPU. Oh, we didn't cover Hacks actually, but we did cover Crush, Amsa, Shootout, PPU, and S2J. Okay, so I guess I spoiled what my last one's gonna be, but and the guy who I'm gonna vote for is Hacks. Hacks is a Hacks is like Hacks is a guy I'd compare him to is like a Derrick Rose kind of guy in Melee. It's like if Derrick Rose was a Melee player, it'd be Hacks. Like remember like prime Derrick Rose, like like prime Derrick Rose. He used to like push LeBron's heatles to the edge, like like the Bulls that would make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, with prime Derrick Rose, like MVP Derrick Rose. That's like Hacks at Justice 4, where he like bodied Armada that one game. It was not close, and you just see that flash of like, oh my god, this is greatness. This guy could be a top 6 player one day. Like that. It's exactly the same thing. And then injuries happen, and then now we have the Derrick Rose, who's like so good, but he's not the same. He's never going to be the same because he has to change the way he played. The dude has to change the way he played a lot because of his injuries. And then with Hacks, we also had his injuries, and that dude had to change the way he played also by adopting the Smashbox. And he still so shows signs of like, oh my god, look at that 20xx stuff, right? Signs of like this is reminds me of the old Hacks that we used to see. Um, but no, he'll most likely never be the same. Like it's just kind of how it goes, man. But I think Hacks' story is like really I think Hacks' story is pretty endearing. Like we want to see the dude get back on his up on his feet, you know. I want to see him get back up on his feet. Well, he kind of already has, but like we want to see him be like the quote unquote MVP Hacks that he used to show signs of being able to be, you know. And we're hoping that eventually he can get there, you know, with the Smash Box and like whatever they're developing with that. Well, it's not the Smash Box, but it's the box, but you know what I mean. We're hoping we can get there with that, and you know, getting him in the summit, I think would be a good way to for people to see how far he's come on a large scale. Okay. I doubt even making like huge upsets of like top 6 players, but like you never know, man. We'll see. I think people are really curious to see what the dude's got. The dude's really funny. Last time he was invited to do Summit commentary, he was a riot. Everybody loved him. I think that's another huge reason he'll get in. The dude's personality. The dude's just so funny, man. Dude's really chill, and like I think people are very entertained by him. I think he's definitely gonna get in. I'm gonna vote for him right now. Well, I'll vote for him after. Well, actually, I'll just do it, man. Okay. Uh, Votes 5 player Hacks next. Vote. Yep. There you go, Hacks. So I hope he gets in. He probably will. I'm not too worried, honestly. So yeah, I I think he's definitely one of the most interesting Fox out. If you've seen clips of like Hacks doing crazy stuff on the box, it's just some of the stuff is just like different, man. Like you don't see like people who use GameCube controllers doing that stuff, and I don't know. I think there's a lot to be gained by having Hacks there. It's very interesting, and for him to use Summon as a platform to maybe promote the box a little bit and to kind of kind of erode some of the false beliefs that people have about it. So I would enjoy seeing all that. So yeah, just to recap real quick, I got the people who I think will get in are Crush, Amza, Hacks, Chudat, Pew Pew, and S2J in no particular order. Little footnote: I think Westballs and Hugs also have a small chance of getting in over S2J. They're both SoCal, so you never really know how their votes are going to split. Hugs, I like him. Okay, the guy's been getting a little bit better since previous years, and I think he could be an interesting guy to see. And it would be good for the character diversity of the competition. Westball is also good for character diversity, and The dude kind of laid a goose egg at dude kind of laid a goose egg at Big House where he got 65th, losing to like Ginger and another guy whose name I forgot. Sorry about that, but he might be able to bounce back at a tournament like Summit where he doesn't have to worry about getting upset in pools or something. And also the whole 10 a.m. pool starting time might have thrown him off a little bit, so we'll see. Yeah, but so I think those two also have a good shot of getting in. Now that I've gone through all that, I think I'm gonna go over who I believe will make it into Summit. And so that's who not who I believe, but who I would want to get into Summit if it were up to me. That list goes Hacks, Amza, Nunn, Hugs, Zane, and West Balls. Okay, I talked about Hacks. I talked about Amza. Um, Hacks is a very different kind of fox because of the whole different controller setup he uses. So like, I think even though there's other foxes there, it's gonna be very different, and like you're not gonna see like Hacks' style be very common. Okay, it's hard to explain what I mean unless you just watch him, man. But yeah, I talked about Amza. None. Amza's very good for character diversity. None. I think his style of Falcon is I don't know. I think I'm a little bit more of a fan of Nunn's style of Falcon than S2J. So I know it's like a personal thing, but like I mean, it is what it is. The hypothetical votes I would give. It is hypothetical people I would let in if it were up to me. So like if it were up to me, I'd have Nunn in instead of S2J. Okay. Hugs. I think the guy's an interesting Samus player. He can be fun to watch. Good for character diversity. Yeah. Zane. Another high level Marth who like is on the up and up. I think the dude upset SFAT. Didn't he beat Leffen too? Yeah, he beat Leffen this year. Beat SFAT and Leffen this year. The guy's been on the rise. Like I remember he came to one of the tournaments that I was hosting, and like he won it. But I didn't know that this dude was gonna be like a year. That was like a year ago. Um, a year later out here taking names. Like that's crazy, man. It's crazy how these people would be doing this stuff, dude. Yeah. So I would love to see him at an event like this and see how he stacks up against the best of the best. Because I think that would be really interesting to see. West Ball's character diversity. I also think he could do a little bit better at a tournament like this where he doesn't have to wake up at 10 a.m. to do pools. Or 10 a.m. to do top 64. Well, did he make the top 64? I forgot, man. If you does that mean he made it to top 64 if he gets 65th, or does that mean he didn't even make it to top 64? I don't know. But I think in a tournament like this where the schedule's a little bit nicer and all of that, you can maybe do better. I'm not sold on if West Balls has completely fallen off. He definitely has fallen off compared to like previous years, but I don't know if he's like gone yet, you know. So I really don't want to see Falco kind of fade into obscurity if Mango's as long as Mango's not using them, you know. So anyway, someone's got to keep the bird alive. But yeah, that's pretty much what I think about that. Um, I'm looking forward to a tournament. Mafia is the best. Love Mafia. I remember last summit, I believe it was, where D1 and the Moon had that little link where they were I think the Moon like decided like not to kill D1 or something. And he like completely trusted D1 on something. Or it might have been the other way around where the Moon completely or where D1 completely trusted the Moon on something. And then like they ended up winning. And like that was just like such a cool moment to watch, man. Another Mafia highlight was when Mango like completely destroyed the Mafia like 3-0 for the second time that day. Wink, wink. You know. So those were great moments to watch. I hope that with this next Summit roster, we will have some more classic Mafia matches. So yeah. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Who do you guys think is gonna get in? Who would you guys want to get in if it were up to you? All that.